And I think that's the issue with all the systems. It's just one size fits all. Either you fit inside this box or you don't. And if you don't, we can't help you. That's just it.
Coming at you, Tommy. She said this was a safe space. A brave space. Well, I'm not at work. We teach workplaces are brave spaces and not safe spaces. But healthcare is a real big barrier. Because you want to say that you are interrupting cycles. Whatever that cycle may be. It may be racist, classist, whatever the cycle may be. But it is to check the box. Okay, we did this program to help this particular person. But when we talk about equity, when we talk about black women dying at 3 to 4 times the rate of any other race, it shows that you don't have equity. And I did a presentation yesterday on equity versus equality. And equity says that I'm going to give you what you need, which may be different than what she needs in order for you to have the best outcome. So when we talk about infant mortality, when we talk about the rates that black women are dying, and I'm just going to give an example of what could have happened. I had a former client who knew that she could call me anytime. She left the hospital complaining of a headache, complaining of blurred vision, and her nurse said to her, well, I'm sure that when you get home to your babies, you'll feel much better. 8 hours later, she was in the ambulance. Blood pressure through the roof. But she went to another healthcare system, stayed 5 days, left, was back the very next day, uncontrolled blood pressure, put in ICU. Had she not called, she may not be here today with her babies. But the dismissal of our symptoms, the dismissal of our pain, feeling like we have to tolerate more pain or we can tolerate more pain, which is an impact of slavery. These things are equitable systems. And then another statistic, since your data, 80% of the things that black women die from are preventable. So when you talk about healthcare for us, that's a big barrier. And a big thing that I know I fight every day to address.
And someone else said it too. A lot of that comes from not being able to advocate for themselves. Because for me personally, you're going to do everything I tell you to do until I feel better. That's, yeah.
And had to throw out who I was.
Listen, so I just recently did it for someone else that I love, and I was like, oh no. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this the right way. And I'm going to ask the questions, I'm going to hold you accountable, and when you start stuttering, we have a problem. Because why is this person saying one thing and this person is saying something else? But see, everyone doesn't have that. They go in there trusting the system to do the thing that they're supposed to be doing for everyone, but they're not going to do that for everyone. They're very dismissive, and I think the main reason for that is they don't care, number one, but it's hard for people to go in and advocate for themselves because they don't know, they don't have the language, they don't have the understanding. They're not medical professionals, they're going to the professionals for help. Sometimes you don't know how to explain what you're feeling, and because you can't do that, they just come up with like, oh, well, we'll just make sure you're not dying right now. Yeah, that's it.
So bring your girl, they got a mouthpiece.
The criminal justice system is failing black women as survivors. So statistics show that 60% of black girls before the age of 18 will experience some form of sexual violence. as a victim advocate, somebody that's worked with 3,000 plus survivors, the way that I had to advocate for Black women just to get their police report taken, just to get a case to the grand jury, just to get a prosecutor to take the case to trial is unheard of compared to how I had to advocate for white women. It's just complete dismissal. The city of Cleveland, if y'all recall, in 2014, identified that they had hundreds of thousands of rape kits sitting in the police department room. And what most people just believe that those kids went untested. Those cases never were investigated. Majority of those cases came from the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and the old 6th District Cleveland, which are predominantly Black neighborhoods with Black women attached to them. When we started reading those police reports, they were called tramps, tricks, strawberries, all type of negative words. That meant from the day that that police officer took that police report, they did not believe them. The reason why Anthony Sowell was able to continue to cause harm and kill as many women as he killed was because that when the one lady who was able to escape went to the police and said, hey, this man raped me, and they said, oh, let's talk to him, and they believed his story and said, oh, we were smoking crack together, got into a fight, even though he just got out of prison for 19 years for sexually assaulting women. And so it's just that we are not believed. And on the other side of it, and I hate to say it, was a Black woman that took that report and dismissed this other Black woman. So this is, again, systemically where we are being failed. And we started internalizing it. So when you're thinking about it, if we're not being believed for our victimization, how are we going to trust any other system, whether it's the healthcare system, the criminal justice system, and then Black girls are being pushed out of schools because of their trauma responses into prison. It's a whole thing that Monique Morris, or Colson now, wrote about the sex abuse to prison pipeline that explains about how Black girls are being pushed out of schools into prison because of their trauma responses. So the system as a whole, the educational system, the criminal justice system, and the healthcare system are failing us tremendously.
Where are people struggling to access care or opportunities? Yeah.
Where are people struggling to access care or opportunities?
Question.
So I'm gonna just speak from just my work environment, right? We have so many Black nurses, but if you're going up against 10 other white nurses, it's gonna be much harder for you to get the job. And then you have people, we see it in meetings and things like that. The callous that they have for the patients, as if patients don't see that and feel that when they're sitting across from them. So when you're sitting across from someone, I went to Mary Beth, who's just telling you to push away from the table, that's all you have to do. And you're sitting looking at this person, you've never had an issue, but you can tell that they're judging. Are you coming back for another appointment? Are you coming back to tell them you're struggling? Are you coming back to reach out for help from the person that's already looking at you sideways? And they're getting that everywhere.
That's always the fun part.
They're getting that from your people. They're getting that from everywhere. So why am I going to the doctor? Why am I going and asking these people for help? You know, it's, yes, you can make an appointment. Yes, your insurance will cover it. But why am I going and getting on the bus and doing all this stuff to be here for these people not to meet me? For these people not to help me? So I'll stay at home and I'll take care of my kids. And I'll go to work. If something happens, then I'll go to work.
The emergency, because you can't get a doctor's appointment, because you never established care in the first place.
Yep.
And it's gonna be 6 months before you get a doctor's appointment. And then you're gonna get that appointment, and you're gonna have to watch your kids, because you're not gonna be close. So it's working in the first place.
And don't dare walk in there with the kids. I can't believe they walk in there.
Making all that noise.
And like, I know this is the same subject, but going back to what tell you how many times little girls come here, they're hospitalized because their mama leaves them away. Every time. Like, it's so sad.
I'll also add, there's the overlay